Well, he attack me. But Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
Blessings Nation, and now welcome to the channel. I'm Jaden Chase, another one that we're going to bring on another reasoning on the topic of current affairs. So if you're new to the channel, well, I'm suggesting that you click the subscribe icon and of course, let your voice be heard. Like and share the video, and yes, drop a comment in the comment section. Now, let's get right into the reasoning. Now Nation, these crooked practices have been carrying on at utility companies for decades now. And law enforcement has finally stepped up to state that these crooked executives at these companies must be arrested, charged, and brought to justice. Now, Nation, it has been confirmed that JPS and NWC customers are owed over $150 million for breaches committed by Jamaica's only two utility companies. And just as though individuals who are caught bridging electricity or water are prosecuted, it is only fitting that the same be done to the executives of these utility companies. Now, the report published by the OUR states that JPS, the country's only electricity provider, committed 64,456 breaches that went undisclosed to the public and was valued at $141.7 million. Now, after the situation was discovered by the authorities, the utilities company stated that they would reimburse customers. They said that 66.6 million, which was 47%, was credited to some customers. And what that basically means is that JPS would have claimed that there was a reduction in customers' bills. The money was not actually sent back to customers as far as nationwide news outlet is concerned. Now, the remaining 53%, which was scheduled to be paid between March and April, has yet to be paid, which has led some to believe that executives have been reappropriating funds. Now, for the NWC, the report is that a total of 3,945 breaches were committed during 2021 alone, which the OUR states is a 65% increase in the number of breaches committed by NWC as compared with data from 2020. It's almost like during the Big C and with the numerous lockdowns imposed on Jamaica by its government, felt it was the time to break the law and essentially put unlawful increases on the price paid for utilities. And then apparently somebody take the money. One thing for sure though, when executives see other executives arrested, charged, and prosecuted for their actions, it will send a strong signal to the perpetrators of these crimes that they are not above the law and can be prosecuted for crimes against citizens of the nation. A nation, whether this is Prime Minister Andrew Holness making good on his speech stating that all companies involved in criminal activity were now under a microscope and would be brought to justice, regardless of the motives. Tell me if you agree that for far too long, utility companies have blamed, for one, their losses on the few customers that may have unlawfully bridged access to their utility, whether that be electricity or water. But clearly, we have seen now, based on statements from the authorities, that hundreds of millions and thousands of breaches and offenses against customers have been committed by these very same companies. Now, if individuals who bridge these utilities are being prosecuted, we are talking about whole heap of years, because sometimes, keep in mind, utility companies will state that based on the breaches that customers committed, them owe hundreds of millions. And when customers are unable to pay these fines, then of course, prison time is recommended. This is basically the same offense, except these individuals have been carrying out these offenses against their customers. And the government, along with its numerous regulators, owe the people of Jamaica the basic right of protection against these companies. Think about it. Other than the NWC, who provides running water for communities across the island? There are no other alternatives. Even if you decide, say, yo, you get some tank and purchase water, residents of rural communities have already pointed out the drawbacks of having to go through that. And with the hundreds of millions being stolen from the NWC, to date, running water is still not available across all 14 parishes. All year the government has said they want to move towards being a republic, and they want to do this and they want to do that. Running water and electricity is still not available across all 14 parishes. Think about that. A full time for these crooked executives face some charges. The fact that them use the chaos of what took place with Big C19 for rob customers, well then, they should be treated as common criminals. Arrests, charges, and prosecution brought against them based on the nature of the evidence. JPS was told that the funds should have been dispersed so that customers would see maybe a reduction in their bills, something of that nature. And for customers who were directly overcharged, well, maybe some other form of compensation, especially those who had their connections. One thing for sure, this is definitely not a good look, seeing that the only two utility companies, may I repeat that again, the only two on the island, and maybe the fact that the island only has two, these utility companies have been allowed to do as they will with the people, seeing that the people have no other alternatives. Then for one, the country only has two utility companies, but one is now a private entity. It might be called Jamaica's Public Service, but it's actually owned by international conglomerates. The NWC is still controlled by the government. Without termination, the country is definitely in a situation. And we'll talk about development. Utility companies play a role in that development. Having running water and electricity across all 14 parishes is part of the infrastructure of the country, along with the roads to access these parishes. Now, with high taxes, utility companies who are robbing customers, the high cost of import and export, do you know see why? From a business standpoint, Jamaica is not one of the thriving Caribbean countries. While on the sector of tourism, because of the culture, of a point that the people, the culture, the cuisine, and the fact that the Jamaican government has made it extremely easy, despite Big C19 protocols, for tourists to visit the island. They have stated that the tourism sector continues to thrive. But the business side of the country, the development side of the country, nothing. Talk to me in the comment section. I know the feel. You know the sentiments. For those who don't, well, first and foremost, click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon, and of course, put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platform. The like icon is also in close proximity to the share icon. Drop a like and boost a share. Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell them sister and them brother them for check out the channel, check out the reasoning. Join the discussion. The comment section up me 24/7, never lucky yet. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there. And we can continue the reasoning via the comment section. You know the sentiments, and for those who don't, you man out move settings, fam. And no, we don't need no ladder. And my sentiments for you and yours is, of course, for to live, love, and prosper, and for to stay tuned until we reason again. Jamaican utility companies have been found to have committed thousands of breaches in 2021 and owe citizens hundreds of millions. Talk to me in the comment section.